Hardest production I've ever experienced.
Turn on the walkie-talkie to talk to you, friend.
I thought it was going to be a disaster.
It's not Steven Spielberg's fault.
And if I survive this, I'll have learned a lot.
And I still have nightmares about it.
All I can tell you is it's twice as slow shooting at sea as it is shooting on land.
It was almost a mission impossible.
And the shark never worked.
And I have 54 more days to go.
It wasn't just a film. It was a monster.
I almost felt like they were hoping we would fail.
Everybody was on edge every day.
It was a nightmare.
Jaws was really a living nightmare. No one knew what was going to hit them.
No, it doesn't come easily. I don't even think about it. If I thought about multi-million-dollar pictures and all the equipment and all the responsibility, I'd probably go bananas.
In the summer of 1974, director Steven Spielberg was under immense pressure while filming Jaws off the coast of Martha Vineyard.
They started Jaws, big movie, without a script, without a shark, and without a cast.
The production quickly turned into a nightmare.
My gut, I felt that I was the eye of the hurricane. You know, all this fell on me.
The script was unfinished, the shark props constantly malfunctioned, and costs were skyrocketing.
When I think of Jaws, I think about courage and stupidity.
This is a story of how a young and relatively unknown director battled the impossible odds to bring Peter Benchley's best-selling novel to the big screen.
I was on a plane to Martha's Vineyard with Steven to start rewriting the movie 10 days before the start of principal photography.
I had originally suggested putting in it Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and John Voight. And
There were a couple of key people not cast, and the script was still to be written. So,
From the very beginning, Jaws was conceived as a low-budget production by Universal Studios, but the film struggled to find financial backing.
I think at the time they were expecting to make it into a good B movie, sort of a nice thriller picture, but they had no great ambition for it.
Spielberg's previous theatrical film, Sugarland Express, had been a box office flop.
Steven Spielberg had directed the Sugarland Express for Mr. Zanuck and for me, and we were very keen about him. But the subject of Spielberg's interest in Jaws came after The Man Who Thought the Shark Was a Whale.
Taking a chance on the young director to helm a big-budget summer flick seemed foolish.
that's the perfect formula to making a successful film.
But these were just the beginning of Spielberg's trials.
Well, the first mistake with the shark was they made a big mistake and they built it for fresh water.
And a shark, that simply would not cooperate.
Well, Bob said, oh, yes, we can build this. There's no problem.
I wanted to test the shark prior to us leaving Los Angeles, put it in the ocean and test it before we took it back to Martha's Vineyard.
This is a major problem when you get salt into all the machinery, into the electrical system.
I don't think Zanuck and I had a peaceful moment during the 159 days of principal photography of Jaws.
We're powered by electric solenoids, and they got the whole thing put together, and when they dumped it in the water, everything fried.
Guys, we can't shoot right now. Hold on.
I can't do it. Time.
Always the possibility that something would happen to our star, the shark.
As costs began to soar, the studio was willing to shut production.
You see it coming there? Look out, Charlie! Fire now! Throw the grenades! Duck! Everybody had about 3 lines to say, and they all overlapped each other. It was terrific.
It's taken pretty well all day to get this shot.
On a good day, I get 5 shots. On a good day at sea, 5 shots. On an average day, about 3. On a bad day, none.
Because when you set your camera for a shot, invariably the boat, which began here, is over here when you're ready to shoot.
Steven's desire to have the movie look as real as possible
became something that was bigger than just a movie.
Spielberg's vision for the film was also met with intense skepticism. Only the young director's tenacity will tell.
We're in 6-foot swells, and Steven Spielberg is trying to send safety boats to get us transferred off the boat. Get the actors off the boat!
Greenlighting the film with a budget of $3.5 million, little did they know the true cost that awaited.
When we got back, we were not heroes. We had gone way over budget.
Spielberg drew on every ounce of creativity to see the film through. With a stroke of genius, he concealed the malfunctioning shark props building suspense by only suggesting the creature's presence.
I had no choice but to figure out how to tell the story without the shark.
Steven was fired every day.
I was the only person who basically insisted that we shoot it in the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, it was insane.
Jaws was a voyage into the darkness.
That meant everything was rushed.
The picture got out and wound up in Time magazine. And it was very upsetting. Everybody would not want to come see the movie. They would not want to come see the movie about a mechanical shark.
Against all odds, Spielberg persevered, expanding the entire $3.5 million budget and going over schedule. But the Herculean efforts paid off.
It's what we don't see, which is really, truly frightening. And their imaginations helped me make that film a success.
And this thing was just, haunted me all night long, until I didn't get any sleep.
No distress signal had been sent.
There's another way, a better way to make this movie, and I better listen. And I did. I listened to the muses.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
And we spent several hours working on the next day's pages. Have ever experienced in terms of actors making contributions to a screenplay. All these contributions were trying to get these people, the characters, to come to life.
That a girl got killed here last week. And you knew it.
She was actually being tugged left and right by 10 men on one rope and 10 men on the other back to shore.
Terrifying to see her dragged back and forth and then under.
With a schedule of May 1st to June 28th, and we left the island September 16th.
There was a maelstrom of just anxiety and I guess basically insecurity.
Upon release, Jaws smashed box office records.
I had no idea commercially how it would perform.
We both clutched each other on the arm when that first scream.
And I thought, at that point, I thought, oh my God, I've gone too far.
Birthing the summer blockbuster. The nightmarish production could easily have sunk Spielberg's career. Instead, it cemented his reputation as a master filmmaker.
I felt we had a really terrific movie.
Going to a theater on Broadway in New York, and then going to a theater in the San Fernando Valley, and then in December all over the country.
Jaws' outstanding success proved that with a brilliant director at the helm, the most troubled film could become a timeless classic. Jaws forever changed cinema, and all stemmed from the grit and vision of a young director who refused to surrender even when the odds seemed impossible. This was a film that almost didn't happen, but thanks to Steven Spielberg's determination under pressure, the world was given one of the most thrilling films in history.
The name Spielberg became a household name.
The monster of the summer blockbuster. I think if they re-released it in theaters, people would queue around the block again.
There goes to power. We're almost there.
He went on to direct the long list of hits for which he is known.
The success of that film gave me ultimately freedom to make any movie I wanted to make.